The Galactic Council chamber floated above the blue gas clouds of Harkin Prime. It was a place of peace and order, a meeting hall where hundreds of species gathered to settle disputes. But today, the peace felt fragile. Something unseen had entered the room, something that made every being uneasy before a single word was spoken. Captain Aaron Hale of Earth stood alone in the center, the first human ever invited to address the council directly. He stood tall, calm, silent, his uniform neat, his expression unreadable. Round him, alien diplomats whispered in a dozen languages. They studied his stillness, his unblinking stare, his silence. The council chair, Velron of the crystalline species fourth, cleared her throat. Captain Hale, she said smoothly, we thank you for attending, but recent reports from Delta 9 have caused concern. Her translucent skin shimmered faintly in the light. She leaned forward, her voice polite but sharp. The council wishes to understand how humans can justify the complete destruction of the pirate fleet in less than one planetary rotation. Aaron's eyes lifted, calm as winter. Because they attacked a civilian transport, he said quietly. Velron asked, tone hardened. And you believe that justified your response? You vaporized 47 vessels. Aaron's voice remained even. They made a choice, and so did we. The room buzzed with tension. A dozen alien voices spoke at once, calling humans dangerous, unstable, unpredictable. Velron raised her voice above the chaos. Your actions frighten the council, Captain. Perhaps humanity is not ready to stand among civilized species. Something shifted. Aaron didn't move, yet the air in the chamber thickened. The translation drones flickered as if struggling to translate more than words. Every alien in the room felt it, a cold weight pressing down. Instinct, ancient and primal, whispered a warning into every mind. Predator. It wasn't anger. It wasn't violence. It was older than either, something that lived in the marrow of the universe. A rebel that came from the human stillness, from his eyes that no longer seemed merely human. Zern, an insectoid scholar, froze mid-sentence, his mandibles trembling. A winged creature hissed softly, feathers rising. Velron felt her crystalline core vibrate with a sensation she had never known before: fear. The sound in the chamber died. No one dared to speak. Aaron simply looked round the room, his gaze passing across every species. And though he said nothing, every being understood the same thing. Humans were not prey. When he finally spoke, his voice was low. You invited us to your council, he said. You call us violent, but you never ask why we fight. We don't seek war. We survive it. He took a slow step forward, his boots echoing through the silence. When we face death, we don't run. We adapt. We learn. We endure. Velron swallowed, her crystalline voice shaking. Captain Hale, you are frightening the council. Aaron blinked, the strange weight in the air fading instantly. Then the council should remember what fright is for, he said softly. It keeps you alive. He turned and walked toward the exit. No guards moved to stop him. No one even breathed. As the doors closed behind him, Velron whispered under her breath, I saw it. The predator behind the diplomat. That was the day the galaxy learned a truth they would never forget. Humans didn't conquer through armies or power. They conquered through presence. And the council, for the first time in its 1,000-year history, was afraid of peacekeepers from a small blue world called Earth. Weeks passed, but the council could not rest. Whispers spread like wind through every planet and outpost. The humans have a weapon you cannot see, they said. They can turn silence into fear. A special committee was formed to study what they now called the predator trigger, a biological, psychological, or perhaps spiritual reaction that humans could unleash without intent. To lead the investigation, the council assigned Dr. Kelter, a telepathic researcher from the world of Mindar. He was chosen because he feared nothing, or so he believed. Kelter traveled to Earth's orbiting research base. The humans welcomed him politely, showing him their laboratories and their military archives. He expected chaos, loudness, emotional unpredictability. Instead, he found quiet determination, order built from discipline. He found children laughing in training yards and soldiers smiling as they worked. What drives them? He asked his assistant. The human scientist smiled. Loss, she said simply, and love. Kelter didn't understand until he attended a memorial on the station. Dozens of humans gathered round a wall of names. No one cried, no one shouted. They stood in silence. And yet that silence carried more power than any speech he had ever heard. That night, Kelter dreamed. He dreamed of running through darkness. Something unseen hunted him, something that was not angry, but unstoppable. He woke shaking, his telepathic defenses shattered. The next day, he met Captain Hale again. The human looked calm, almost kind. You felt it, haven't you? Aaron said. Kelter nodded slowly. What is it, Captain? This aura of yours? Aaron sighed softly. It's not something we use, he said. It's something we carry. He looked toward the stars beyond the viewport. Millions of years of survival carved it into us. We learned to fight monsters, and when the monsters were gone, we learned to fight fear itself. Kelter's voice trembled. But you make others feel fear too. Aaron's eyes softened. Only when they mistake kindness for weakness. For the first time in his life, the telepath understood something profound. Humans were not dangerous because of what they could do. They were dangerous because of what they could endure. That night, he sent his final report to the council. He wrote only one line. Humans do not possess the predator trigger, they are the predator trigger. And the galaxy would never see them the same way again. Months later, the council made one final decision. They invited humanity to join a joint military training exercise to test their control. They wanted to know, could humans truly restrain their instincts? Or were they hiding behind diplomacy? Hundreds of ships gathered in orbit over the council world of Vorth Prime. Every major species sent troops. The humans arrived last, quiet, disciplined, wearing no weapons beyond sidearms. Velron herself watched from the control tower as the simulation began. Artificial enemies filled the sky, drones designed to mimic war. Most species charged in chaos. But the humans didn't move. They observed, analyzed, and adapted. When the others began losing ships, the humans changed formation. They used the debris of fallen allies as shields. They turned mistakes into strategies. They didn't panic. They didn't rush, they learned. When the simulation ended, the humans had lost only one ship. Every other fleet was wiped out. The council whole fell silent once again. Velron rose, her voice quiet. You held back, didn't you? Aaron Hale nodded slowly. You asked us to play nice, he said. And we did. Then he looked round the room. His tone calm but firm. You fear our instinct, but you misunderstand it. He placed his hand on a table. When you see the predator trigger, you think it means anger. It doesn't. It means resolve. He looked at every alien representative. When our children cry, we protect. When our allies fall, we rise. When the universe says stop, we keep walking. He stepped closer, his voice quiet but sharp as steel. That's what the trigger truly is. It's humanity choosing to fight when others would kneel. Velron stared at him, her crystalline eyes glowing faintly. And what do you want from the galaxy, Captain Hale? Aaron smiled faintly. Nothing, he said. We already have everything we need, each other. Silence filled the chamber again, but this time there was no fear, only respect. The galaxy finally understood. Humanity was not a threat. They were the reminder that life itself fights to exist. From that day, every alien fleet carried a human officer. Every world kept a small blue flag among their banners. And when darkness came again, the galaxy whispered one phrase, call the humans, because they knew when others ran, the humans would adapt. And when the end came, they would be the last to fall and the first to rise again.